In this video, I'm going to show you the installation of PRP seats in a, this is a 2015 Sport Limited, but the installation is the same for any of the Sport models and the Trail models. There's been some talk on the forums about comfort levels and whatnot on the Sports and Trails with PRP seats. I think they're awesome, great, one of the best upgrades I've done. And a couple of questions of how difficult is it to install it, what do I have to do, so hopefully this will walk you through that. My seats have been installed for a while, so a couple of the points are going to be, I'll make reference to a couple of the points of how they came originally with the kit versus what it's going to look like since I've already got it installed. But anyway, so what we'll do is we'll start out by just taking out the factory seat. Factory seat is removed by grabbing the latch behind the bottom of the seat and just lifting it out. Here's a little bit better view of what you're actually doing when you're taking the seat out. You're reaching through the bottom of it, pulling up on this latch, and then picking the seat up and then pulling it out backwards. Using a T30 Torx, we're going to remove the factory base. Set the factory base to the side. You're going to use it later. You're not going to use these factory hardware, so I'm just putting them back in the factory seat. The hardware that is going to come with the seat, it's going to be these sliders. They come in two different pieces. This one. Handle's already welded to this slider. You're going to get a piece of piano wire. This is just going to be a long straight piece of wire that you're going to have to bend to attach this slider to make the mechanism work together. You're going to have two riser plates. You're going to have hopefully all the hardware you need. It'll come with 5/16 aircraft nuts. It'll come with these number 6 screws for the latch. I believe that it came with the it came with these quarter 20s to mount the sliders to the base. Mine had a mix of screws that actually mounted the base, the OEM base to the slider, so I ended up just using the hardware that I had laying around. But effectively, this is what you'll get as far as hardware. Okay, so one thing I didn't touch on, I'm using, these are actually the factory tires off the Sport. You could probably put this on tires, you could put it on a bar stool. I think the first time I did this, I did it on the back of the car, on the trunk. So just, whatever puts it at a comfortable height for you. The first thing we're going to install are the slide rails. Put the left one on first. As you're looking at it like this, it's going to be the one without the welded handle. There's a couple of there's 2 sets of screws. These seats are left and right oriented. You can't do this wrong because only one set of holes will have actual welded nuts to it. I'm just using a quarter 20 bolt, which is what came with it. So we'll do that one, and then we'll do this one. Okay, here's a part. When you get yours, this piece of piano wire is going to be probably 12 inches long and straight. You have to bend it between the two rails to make the mechanism work. So it's going to look like that. Just got these loosely tight right now. What has to happen is you have to actually actuate the rail so that you can move the slider out of the way so you can get to the other bolt. Mine's kind of covered with mud and stuff and dirt. Yours should slide fairly easily. Like I said, these are 1/4 bolts, so we're running them in with a 7/16 socket. Got these top two tight. We'll actuate the rail again and slide it up out of the way. Okay, once these all 4 bolts are tight, you want to make sure that the rails are engaged the same. So we'll do that now. Okay, what I'm going to show you here, I just want to point out, so the rails are the same right here. This is what the wire looks like. Like I said, when you put these rails on, this wire won't be here, right? So you'll bend the wire basically from here to here. I think I had to bend it twice, but what you'll end up doing is when you move this moves this way, which pulls this way, which disengages both of the locks and the sliders. Okay, the next thing that goes on are, I don't remember what they call them, I'm calling them seat risers. They've got some slots in them. Really can't do this part wrong just because, I mean, you're going to have adjustment here, and there's adjustment here, and the seat's going to slide, so I don't think that the alignment of the actual slots is super critical. These go on with the 5/16 aircraft nuts, 1/2-inch socket. Okay, the next thing we're going to install is the OEM seat base. This fits in between the risers. The latch needs to go towards the back. It's not going to work if you don't put it towards the back. Again, the alignment of all the slots and stuff, I don't think it's super critical. I just kind of centered everything up. Because like I said, you're gonna be able to move the seat once you actually get it in there. This is the hardware that mine didn't come with. So I ended up just using some 1/4 1-inch bolts, flats and nuts that I had laying around. And since they're 1/4-20s, use my 7/16 to tighten them up. I use whiz nuts, so I don't have to use a backup. Now that we got the base installed, the next thing is to install the latch release setup. So the PRP seat has this strap that runs from the bottom of the seat to the top of the seat. What you'll have to do, get you like an 1/8-inch drill bit, drill. I drilled 2 holes. Basically, I laid the strap on top of it, shot 2 holes in it. And then once you got that done, it comes with some number 6 screws, and some flat washers. I ended up putting the flat washers on the strap side just to kind of give it a little bit more stability so it didn't rip out the strap. The nuts they send you are an aircraft nut, so they've got a nylon insert, so they shouldn't back out on you. So it's a Phillips head screwdriver, and I'm not left-handed, this will be entertaining. So it's a Phillips head screwdriver, and the backup on the nut is a 5/16. So now what will happen is when you pull the strap at the top of the seat, it actually pulls up on the latch so you can release the actual seat. That is it for installation. And that's the seat. The next thing to do is to drop it in the car. Close up of all said and done, everything installed: sliders, risers, the OEM base, and the latch assembly with the 2 screws. That is all there is to putting this together. Okay, got the seats installed, and just a couple of points I want to make as far as you putting it back in. First one is the release strap that's on the back. When you install it, right before you drop the seat in and actually latch it into the bottom, hold the strap up. Don't let it fall in behind the seat. It'll make getting it out a lot easier when you go to actually pull the seat out. It'll just end up flopping around back here. The other thing too is if you don't have individual latch style harnesses, you're going to hate these seats. If you've got the automotive style or any kind of H style harness, the seats aren't going to just come in and out. It doesn't work. So you're going to, really, the reality is you're going to have to upgrade to a better harness, which is what I had to do when I put mine in. I had the automotive latch style seats, the H harness, put a 4-point in, and it works fine. As far as getting the left and right correct, it's pretty hard to put them in backwards. I mean, you can do it, but basically, as long as the seam between the 2 seats, the gap in the seats, lines up with the gap in your firewall and your shifter and all that, it's all running in a straight line, then they're in there right. If you have them in there wrong, the edge of the seat will rub really hard on the hinge. You'll have to make an effort to put them in backwards. It is doable though. So that's it. There's nothing more to it. It's super simple. Can be done in probably an hour. You really can't screw it up. I mean, unless you're Dean from Colorado, you really can't screw it up.